Hey, the very first time I dropped a record on the AT-LP7X, it didn't just spin the vinyl, it opened a world I'd been missing. This isn't for people who tolerate hollow digital audio or turntables that sound flat anymore. This is for you, someone who feels when music has texture and presence, and who knows your setup should do justice to every groove. Before you go any further, take a moment to check the current price and stock so you know what it looks like right now. You knew it was time to upgrade the moment your old player left vocals thin and instruments lacking life, when every record sounded like a shadow of itself. That frustration, where your favorite albums exist but don't move you, that's when you realize you've outgrown compromise. You didn't want just another turntable. You wanted something that reveals what's really in the groove. The first time I really used this turntable, the emotional relief was instant. The belt drive mechanism didn't just spin the record steadily, it brought out nuance, warmth, and clarity you didn't know was buried in your collection. Vocals felt alive instead of distant. Bass was full instead of thin. You didn't spend minutes tweaking settings. You pressed play and the sound just fit the moment. Imagine late nights where every album reveals parts you never noticed, subtle harmonics, depth in the rhythm section, that space between notes that makes music feel real. Picture slow mornings with records you thought you knew suddenly sounding fresh and rich. Even casual listening becomes something you lean into, not something you let fade into the background. That's the difference between music you hear and music you experience. And it's not just about specs you read once and forget. You don't think, oh, adjustable counterweight. You feel how balanced every rotation is, how the tonearm hugs the groove instead of fighting it. You don't recall high-quality cartridge support. You notice how steady the sound stays from the first track to the last. That's the kind of refinement that becomes part of your everyday ritual. If you're even considering waiting for a small price drop or hoping stock stays steady forever, don't. Quality turntables that genuinely elevate your listening don't sit around, and hesitation is where regret quietly begins. Maybe part of you wonders if a belt drive really makes a difference. With lesser players, that doubt makes sense because they churn and wobble. Here? You'll notice how steady and controlled every note feels. That's the surprise benefit. Power and precision you use every single session. You feel warmth that stays musical, you feel clarity that keeps vocals distinct, you feel texture instead of thinness, you feel connection to your records, not just playback, you feel pride knowing you chose something built right. It's not the cheapest, entry-level player you could pick, it's not something that'll feel weak next month. At some point you stop scanning every comparison and choose the turntable your instincts already kept circling back to. Every time you consider something weaker, your thoughts come right back here. Don't let this be one of those upgrades you delay and later wish you made sooner. If you're ready to stop settling for flat sound and finally experience your records the way they were meant to be heard, check the current price and stock now and decide while it's still easy to secure.